What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisor.com, bringing home the bacon. NFL DFS video. We are looking at the main slate for your week 3. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I think you're going to love it. And I think if you've never been here before, hopefully you're in for a treat. So we're going to break it down. The article you can see right here is in the description of this video, along with FanDuel, DraftKings, and Fanatics Sportsbook links. If you want free content to FTA Plus and you have not signed up to any of those links, click those links. Sign up using our link, deposit $20, show us proof to dfshelp1@gmail.com, and we will set you up for a free month for every single site that you get in on. And if you've never been here before, you are in for a treat as well, because we have giveaways every single NFL video main slate breakdown. And just like with MLB content, if you have been here before, we have one giveaway in this video. Here's how you can win. You got to like this video, you got to be a subscriber to this YouTube channel, and you must leave a comment on the video. You do all 3 of those, and this video right here gets a minimum of 50 likes. You will have a chance at a free week of FTA Plus. So that is a week of MLB, the last week of MLB, I'll say. That is a week of NASCAR, PGA, MMA, NFL, and NBA in just over them. I cannot believe NBA is back already. But that is with 50 likes. If this video right here gets a minimum of 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to see who the winner of last week's week 2 video is. We got 64 likes on the video. We have 13 comments, so you have a 1 in 13 shot to win. So make sure you come in and you do that every time. So the winner is, there you go, Kenny Brayboy 1225. Congratulations. Kenny just won the other day, I believe, on the MLB content. So we've got you covered as well. So Kenny, you know the drill. Just email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. Say you are the NFL Week 2 video likes winner, and I'll get you set up for your free week. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at everything. Then we're going to kind of use SaberSim, and we're going to not finagle, but we're going to mess with some of the numbers. We're going to see what it spits out there as well. But I wanted to break down the slate for you. So hopefully it's not going to be a huge, long video, but I do want to help you out. So we've got our rankings in this one. We're going to have there are some value plays still opening up, but I wanted to show you guys. So this is our matchup tool under the NFL tab. Okay. You can find it right here, matchup tool. Now what it is these are the defenses, and these are the statistics given up to each position. So these are to the quarterback for the first 2 weeks, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. So depending if you're playing FanDuel or DraftKings, you can definitely sort it how you want, because it is a little bit different. But let's just sort it by DraftKings for today. The Bears have given up the most amount of fantasy points to the opposing quarterbacks. Now, that would tell you right there, Dak Prescott is in a great spot. So this game right now, I believe, has the highest team total in this main slate of 25.27. It's got a 50 over under. It opened as a 47.5. It opened up as the Cowboys being a 3-point underdog. They are now a 1-point favorite. So this game could be huge. Hopefully we see 80 plus points like we saw the other day. I love Dak here. On the flip side of that, Dallas Cowboys have given up the second most to the opposing quarterback. So Caleb Williams makes sense. So I think I'm going to have a lot of Dak this week. I'm going to put him with 2 pass catchers. So whether or not we want to go with CeeDee Lamb and maybe Ferguson, or CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, or whatever, I do want to bring it back with one from Chicago as well. So that's kind of how we're going to do some stacks there. Number 3 is the Ravens. They give up the 3rd most. So Jared Goff is in a great spot for, I believe that's Monday Night Football. We're going to break down Monday Night Football as well. If you have not already checked out our Sunday Night Football breakdown, that'll be linked. That is on our channel live right now. We already saw Miami, so then you got Pittsburgh. So that's the Patriots. So Pittsburgh defense has given up, they're 28th out of 32, 23.7. And then New York Giants, we've already looked at that. We broke that down. So this is how you can read it. And then you can go into running backs. And then we go into here and we sort it by running back. So you can see the Giants have given up the most to running backs. The Bengals are 2nd. So we're looking at Vikings running backs there. The Bears have given up the 3rd most, so we're looking at the Cowboys running backs. So that is where we're at with the matchup tool. 4th is the Saints, and 5th is the Patriots running backs. Wide receivers. We're going in here. The Giants have given up the most wide receivers. The Cowboys secondary has given up the 2nd most. So we're looking at Rome Odunze. We're looking at DJ Moore in that one. maybe a little bit of Cole Kmet, depending. I know he's a tight end, but he could get in there as well. The Patriots have given up the third most, so we're looking at Steelers, DK Metcalf. You want Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers as a mini stack. I'm okay with that as well. Usually when we're stacking, we're doing the quarterback plus 2 pass catchers, whether or not if they have a pass catching running back, I'm okay with that. But, tight ends or wide receivers there. Number 4, the Bears have given up the fourth most. They're giving up an average of 45.9. They're 1 point behind the Patriots. So we're looking at the Cowboys. So there you go. Dak with 2 Cowboys. I'm okay with that. Then you got the Raiders. This is where it gets interesting. So the Raiders give up the 5th most. They're giving up an average of 45.5. We're looking at the Commanders. Now, Jaden Daniels is now ruled out of this game. So now we've got Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota on DraftKings is $4,000. He's going to be very popular. You're going to want to get some exposure to him. You're going to want to put Terry McLaurin in there. You want to get Zach, we're going to get Marcus Mariota with some of the stacks there. So that is where you're looking at, and this is where this tool comes into play. Obviously, we only have 2 games to go off of, but you can look at red zone ranks as well. So Cowboys are really good in the red zone. So if they're outside of the red zone, then that's where we want the Bears. The Bears are 30 out of 32 in the red zone. So I think hopefully they don't let us down, but I want all the smoke with the Cowboys this week as well. So quarterbacks that I'm looking at today or this week, we'll go through the list, and this is how we'll do it. So I want Dak Prescott. I'm going to put him at 26 fantasy points. I want the algorithm to know that I really want him. Okay. Caleb Williams makes a lot of sense. I'm going to put him at 25 because that game's got a ton of over-under there, and I'm okay with that one. Another one that is surprising is Daniel Jones. The Tennessee, he's 5,400. He's a cheap option as well. You can stack him with a couple of guys. So I'm going to put him at 24. I'm going to get him in there. Another one looking at, and just looking off notes, Mariota. So Mariota is 4K. I got to get him at 24. I want him bumped to the top 2. We're going to see a lot of Mariota, and I want to stack with it too. So then we go into team stacks. So, or games or stack exposure or whatever it is. So I think it's QB plus 2. I think that's how we kind of want to do minimum exposure. I think minimum of exposure of probably 75%. QB, and then that is QB plus 2. And then just depending on how you want to stack it the rest of the way, 2 plus 1. So you want a rollback there where you want it to come back. In that one, I don't mind. Let's do that 50%. Let's do 25% and 25%. We'll see if we can do that. So kind of where we're at. Another one I like is Jalen Hurts. He did have a terrible game last week. He's going up against a solid Rams defense. But the offense for the Rams is pretty good. I think the offense of the Rams is going to be a better showing than what we saw with the Chiefs. I think this game could go off. So I do want some Jalen Hurts. I'm going to put him at 23.95. I'm going to bump him up there. Another one I'm looking at, I don't know what we like. Depending. Got to get creative, though. One that jumps out a little bit is Justin Herbert. Now, I'm going to put him at 22. He needs about 25 to 35 fantasy points to make us feel good when we look at like a tournament. But for cash, it's okay to go with it. So we'll move to running back. So looking at running back, I absolutely think Christian McCaffrey's at the top. I'm going to put him with the quarterback situation. I'm going to put him at 27 fantasy points. I want him in there. I think another one is Bijan Robinson. I'm going to put him at 26. He's another one that I absolutely love. Another one is Kenneth Walker. I'm going to put Kenneth Walker at 24. I want it to know that I really like it. Another one, and this is going to be a value pick, is Jordan Mason. Obviously, we're going to see some there with the injuries and everything with Aaron Jones. So Jordan Mason pops everywhere right now, and I want to look at that. Another one is Javonte Williams. Now, we are going to see with, like we said, against the running back, Chicago Bears, they're third worst. Javonte Williams obviously had a great week 1. Week 2 is a little bit of dud, but he is projected at 22 right now because that is what we bumped him up to. But I want them to see that I love Javonte Williams. Another one that I always love, Chase Brown is going to be one where they're going to rely heavily on them, obviously with Joe Burrow being out. So Chase Brown and Jamar Chase, both are what I'd look at. Bucky Irving's one that I want to bump up, so I'm going to put him at 19. And then just kind of looking through some other things, ones we like, ones we're looking at. Saquon Barkley makes sense. So if you look at Saquon, he's going up against the Rams. The Rams against the running back, though, they're number one. So that's the only problem. I don't get stuck in this one, but I'm going to put him at 19.99 just to give him a boost. Now, the Rams defense has been good. Now, again, it's the first 2 weeks. Obviously, with a matchup tool like this, you kind of want to get half a season worth of data in there to really feel comfortable with it. But this is all we've got right now. There's obviously injuries every single week. We know that. So that is kind of what we use for the running backs. Now, it will spit out more. This is just ones that I want to boost in there. So I want it to know that I really like. So now let's look at wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb is my number one. You can go into here and you look at wide receivers. You can see that the Giants there, Cowboys, Patriots, Bears. Bears are still going up 45.9 in a game that should be very, hopefully, a shootout. I want CeeDee Lamb at the top. I'm going to put him at 26 in that one. Another one, we used him last week, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he is in a great spot. I'm going to put him at 23. I want to get exposure to DJ Moore because in this game, so I'm going to put him at 6. I'm going to bump him up to 16. Odunze, I'm going to bump him up to 16 because I want them to know that I really love going against this Dallas secondary. Absolutely love that one. So other ones that I'm looking at, Keenan Allen, Jawan Jennings, and Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow at 8. I'm going to put him up to 12. Keenan, I'm going to put him up to 14. Who was the last one that I said? Jennings. Jawan Jennings here. I'm going to put him up to 13 as well. So then we can look at this. Puka is in there against Philly. Philly secondary against wide receiver. They're ranked 10th out of 32. They're still giving up 29.6. So you do have him there. That could make sense. Devontae Adams is there as well. I'm going to put him at 15.9. I'm going to put Puka at 22. So we'll get him in there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for wide receiver. And then we're using the matchup tool. We got tight end. Make this. So the Seahawks are the worst. So you look at the Saints, Lions, Falcons, Raiders, 49ers is kind of how it goes. But if I'm looking at this, I am very interested in Jawan Johnson. So we look at him. Now, Jawan Johnson, did he score? Yeah. I mean, he's put up 15 plus in both games. He 49 yards last week with a touchdown, 76 yards the week one without a touchdown. Give me Jawan Jennings at 3,900 against Seattle, who gives up the most amount of fantasy points. This is where I'll tell you. So you can check this out. They rank 32 against the tight end. But if you were to just look at this, this is overall opponent rank, okay? 31st. You got to dig into the numbers and you got to look at the matchup. So it's not against the tight end and the position. That is what people mistake in these main slates. They think that this means they're 31st out of 32. They're actually 32. So Jawan Jennings, I'm going to put him at 18 fantasy points. Now, that's crazy. I get that. I understand that. I'm well aware of that. But that is kind of what I'm looking at there as well. Another one, obviously, is Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. So I'm going to put Trey McBride there. I'm going to put Brock Bowers at 16.8 there as well. Then there's defenses. Really just depends. If you come down here, Packers are down to 3,700, or they're at 3,700. You pay up for them. They're going up against the Browns, which they've been a mess this year. I want them number one. Number two is actually pretty surprising, but I want the Patriots defense a little bit. I've got them against Pittsburgh. I know that Aaron Rodgers can throw some interceptions. I completely get that. Seahawks, I'm going to put them at 8.99 to give it a little boost. The Bucks, I'm going to put them at 7.99. Now I'm going to pause the video and let the simulation or let them run, and then I'll show you what it is when we get in there. So just kind of looking at this, you can see Dak Prescott, Javonte Williams, CeeDee Lamb right there. I love that stack there. You got Jawan Johnson in there. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba in there. Puka, Jordan Mason as well. So I love that lineup. That is a great lineup. that I like seeing. You got Dak with CD and Javonte. You got the Bengals defense, which I'm not thrilled with, but you've got some, and again, you got some to work with. So you got some quarterbacks that you can come in here. Dak and Caleb, love that. You got Marcus Mariota, Daniel Jones. We can change this up to like 5,000 lineups, and it'll update the exposures as well, and then you can kind of get a different feel for it. So, and then just depends on how you want to go. But the one thing that people have been wondering about, outside of how we set this up with all of that, what are some of the value picks? Let's go position by position with value pick. So Drake May is probably my number one value pick quarterback outside of Marcus Mariota. But Mariota is only in there because he's so cheap. But if we're looking at Drake May, it's because he's in a good spot here. You have to come all the way down to 5,300. You can see week 1 was okay. Week 2, dominant, 26.3. So then you look at Pittsburgh against the quarterback. Pittsburgh against the quarterback, right there. They ranked 28th out of 32, 23.7. So Drake May there. So if we put Drake May in a lineup, let's just go with that. So we'll kind of do that. And again, I'm trying to make these videos for you guys, so let me know what you're looking for in these videos, or what more things. So for week 4, tell me what you guys would love to see. So if I'm looking at Drake May, you obviously want to stack him with someone. So running back wise, because then you look at running back here. We look at Patriots. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they rank 20th out of 32 there. They're giving up 28.5. So then we come into here. Henderson really hasn't done much. Ramondre Stevenson, huge week 2. You can dump off passes to him as well. So then if you use our matchup tool, you look that they've given up 3 receptions on 5 targets for 51 yards. So they haven't given up much, but they've given up 2 100-yard rushing games to the opposing running backs. So whether or not you want to go with Ramondre, whether or not you want to go with Henderson, I don't think you're going to go Gibson, but he would be a cheaper option there as well. But then we get to the wide receiver. So you look at the wide receivers against Pittsburgh. They're right here. 21st, they give up 39.5 on DraftKings. So then Stephon Diggs, Kevin Boutte, Demario Douglas you could look at, but we used, or Kashawn Boutte. So week 1 was good. Week 2, he did have a touchdown. So you could stack him there. Stephon Diggs, the daddy with Cardi B, I guess. He's been, right around the same there. So you could also, he's 4,800. So he's $200 more. So you were at this with the Drake May stack, you're at 5,800 the rest of the way. Put a defense of, for instance, we go Packers defense. Now you're at 6,200 the rest of the way. You could build your lineup that way. So let's clear that out. Number 2, which it's cheap. I get it. So let's just go. And we talked about this. Mariota. So get Mariota in here. Get Washington. So we want to go wide receivers. So with that, Debo averaging 20. I mean, you look at the game logs, he's the number 1 now instead of Terry. So Scary Terry is there, but Mariota is there. Okay. Now we're looking at running back. Is it going to be, I don't know. Probably not looking at running back there. So we could go another wide receiver or a tight end. You look at Zach Ertz, back-to-back double digits. I like that there, averaging 5,900. You throw in, let's say, for instance, we are throwing in the defense of the Packers. Now we're averaging 6,400 the rest of the way. So we have these 2 as the number 1 and 2 this week. You got other ones that we can definitely look at. But if you put McCaffrey in there and you put Robinson, you're at 5,300 the rest of the way. You could get in there CeeDee Lamb. Come down here, depending, like a George Pickens if you wanted a double stack there. You can't do that. We're at 3,900 for 2. So that's where you got to find a little bit of leeway there. So that is again, you're probably not going to be able to fit both McCaffrey and Robinson in there unless you find bigger value that opens up. But that's another one that I wanted to look at. So running backs, I think the big 2, value-wise, Javonte Williams makes a ton of sense. He's in a great matchup here. Ownership right now for Javonte is lower. And we've got the ownership under our NFL. So if you go to the NFL tab, and you got projections and simulations. We got ownership there. We also have chalk there. You can check that out. So Javonte Williams makes sense for running back. If you want to look for some value here for wide receivers, Jackson Smith and Jigba. T. Higgins is another one. So Jackson is in there at 6,500. Everyone's going to be on Jamar Chase. T. Higgins is in there, 6,100. He's averaging double digits this so far. So I love that. Then we'll look at tight ends. So we're going to everyone's going to be on Bowers and McBride. Ertz is in a great spot that I like. Jake Ferguson in a high octane game. But like I said, Juwan Johnson against Seattle, against the worst defense against the tight end, and he's 3,900. Give me some of that. And another one that I don't think a lot of people are going to be on for defense-wise, because everyone's going to be on the Packers, the Seahawks, the Bucks. One that kind of is interesting to me. We come down. Did I miss it? Right here. Falcons at 3,200. Falcons against Carolina. Falcons got 21 fantasy points last week. Very underowned. I think I'm in a good spot there. So there you go with some of the rankings. If you want to see even more, we have a ton more with FTA Plus, but I wanted to give you guys a point or a shot here to look at. So let's just see what SaberSim likes. If we do Caleb Williams in this game, Caleb throwing it to Moore and a Dunze. You got Javonte Williams, which I love. You got CeeDee Lamb, which I love. Titans defense, I don't know. This is where you make it a little bit. Juwan Johnson's in there. Puka's in there as well. Come in there. You got Williams, Mason, Walker. Williams throwing it to Dunze and DeAndre Swift now, who dumps off passes and runs. You got the Patriots defense, which is interesting to me. You got CeeDee Lamb in that game, the bring back game there. Okay, so final ones. I mean, you can go through and you can see like Drake May's in a good spot. We tried to build around him. So you got Drake May. You got him throwing it to Hunter Henry, which we didn't really talk about Hunter Henry. You got the Patriots defense. Travis Hunter's in there. Juwan Johnson, CD, A.J. Brown, Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker. So two of the top 5 running backs that I like this week, it's got in that lineup there. Another one is Barkley and McCaffrey. That's actually not a bad lineup there. Drake May throwing it to Hunter Henry. Stephon Diggs as well. Juwan Johnson, Odunze. I like these here. So that's that. And we talked a little bit, but I'm interested in looking at Justin Herbert against Denver. Justin Herbert, Lad McConkey, and Keenan Allen. You got him stacked there. And Jigba in there. You got Seahawks, Bowers, Juwan Johnson, Javonte Williams, Jalen Warren. You know, and again, these are first run-throughs. You can definitely edit it for you as well. So that being said, that is what we've got for our week 3. Some of our top picks. If you want to see more, you want to see even more value picks, this article in the description of this video. Let's have a great main slate for Sunday. Do not forget to get everything in the description of this video. Sign up. All of those links, get into our free Discord, get into our DraftKings League. I don't remember if I said it in this video. We got a $5 a week DraftKings League. Get in there. Top 3 places will pay every single week. The more you play, the more you can win. What I mean by that is at the end of the year, the top 3 teams that have accumulated the most amount of total points over the year will win. First place, a $500 lifetime pass to FTA Plus. Second place, a $200 yearly pass. And third place, a $30 monthly pass to FTA Plus. So that being said, let's have a great week 3. If there's anything you guys would like to see more in these videos for next week, let me know down below. Email me dfshelp1@gmail.com. That could be your comment to get you in the winner circle for next week when we do this video. We've got a Discord. We've got it all for you. Good luck today. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.